So my name is Darren Odom. I'm a Senior Director of Platform Business Development for Network Optix. Over the next 20 minutes, I'll have the opportunity to give you my experience as a former CEO of an AI company who attempted to build from scratch an enterprise video software as a service offering and why you should avoid following in my footsteps. This content should be of particular importance for those of you in this room for two reasons. The first is that processing video represents a massive worldwide opportunity. Deep learning-based video processing, video analysis has grown over the last 5 years at 19% compound annual growth rate. And over the next 8 years, it's supposed to go to 24% annually. Amazing growth. There are 58,000 AI startups out there in the world, out there competing. 85% of them will fail in 3 years, according to the street. That means if you attempt to build a solution at this scale yourself, you'll never be able to outscale your competition. The second reason is that NX has been doing this for a really long time. It was founded in 2010. We're part of the Inc. 5000's fastest growing companies in the world for the last 7 years running. We have a bunch of technical employees. We have 170 full-time employees, most of them engineers. And of the systems we have deployed worldwide, there are tens of thousands of these systems, 3 million cameras under management worldwide. And in the last couple of years, that accounts for about half of those. Worldwide offices, but we're located in Silicon Valley as a headquarters. So I'd like to introduce to you NX EVOS. And this is an operating system for video and all of the data that you and your customers will generate from that video. So NX EVOS offers developers and organizations an infrastructure to consume, aggregate, manage, analyze data from any video source. It's a full stack development kit that allows developers to rapidly deploy and scale video from any product or system. It also gives you access to this massive channel of sales that you wouldn't normally have access to because of the worldwide deployments that we have and the amount of time that we've been building this. There are two types of users of the EVOS system. There's the builders, the developers, and there's the runners, the organizations that use this as an operating system. They use it to run their organizations with the metadata that's generated largely from video. On this talk, I'll be focusing on the builders. So developers, companies that are building software as a service solutions, I'm about to reveal to you how to get ahead of your competition and build an enterprise level software as a service offering at scale. And all of this protects your data moat. It keeps you focused on what you do best. There are a lot of challenges when it comes to video, especially at scale. First there's the discovery of the devices, traversing the networks. Can you imagine trying to find 10,000 cameras on disparate networks? It's a large task, especially if you're going over different networks. Decoding that video once you discover it. Edge is becoming really important, so this hybrid deployment and maintaining the security all the way through is extremely important, especially for enterprise customers. Supporting all of these operating systems and hardware, enabling other systems to interact with the data that you generate. And then enterprise customers require service level agreements, security support. And finally, if you're collecting all of this video, recording, storing that video for later analysis or for building up that data moat that I talked about, storage is extremely difficult to do, especially when you have thousands of cameras out there. I like to call this a go-to-market in a box. Video is super hard. Focus on your core competencies. Build quickly and outpace your competition. Enterprise this is enterprise-grade video infrastructure. And one really exciting thing that we have coming up is digital rights management and accounting of all of the deployments that you have out there. And it also allows access to an incredible sales network. I'm going to go through the pieces one by one here. So the first is your application, the ISV application. It's the secret sauce that you're developing that creates all of this metadata. It can be a Docker container, and coming soon, we should be able to deploy just an Onyx layer descriptor out to one or tens of thousands of devices. The next piece is the metadata SDK. So this is the piece that allows you to connect your magic to the rest of the system. It includes a rich SDK for connecting JSON data to the rest of the system here, and it's stored with the video in a database. We've even had customers create an MQTT tool with this SDK to get the data directly to the cloud. The next piece is the server. The server is this magical piece of software that traverses the network. It discovers the cameras. It runs on absolutely anything. We even know that it runs 16 channels on just a Raspberry Pi, so super lightweight. It's when you add multiple servers on the same network, it can create a hive, and this hive is failover. So it automatically fails over to the next server if a piece of hardware fails. It also allows the cameras to fail over. So when you combine all of these servers into a system, you get the ability to monitor the health and wellness of the system. We can add 128 of these cameras to a server, and we can add 10,000 of these cameras to a system. And we can discover 30,000 different camera types from over 800 different vendors. We've been working on this for a while. There's a storage SDK, so if you're collecting a bunch of data to create your model, you want to be able to store it anywhere. We can do it to FTP, network attached storage, even S3. Or you can create something that's proprietary, something that goes to your storage. The next piece is the desktop. This is the award-winning interface that has the customer viewing the data, viewing the video. It's completely open source, or you can use it yourself to manage a large selection of video data. It also has the ability to create whatever you want to from a JavaScript interface, because it does run Chrome inside of the desktop version. Its little brother is the mobile version. It's becoming open source as well. It has Android and Apple versions. This is where push notifications, fisheye, dewarping, all of these rich features are available on the handset. And then there's the cloud. The cloud is the thing that brings it all back together. It can be hosted public or privately. It allows you to merge unlimited systems together, and then that means unlimited devices at enterprise scale. So you can manage tens of thousands of users and devices, and this can all be rebranded as your own. So how does this work? The green box down here is your Docker container. It can be a Docker container. It can be something that is taking the frames and generating metadata in one way or another. It doesn't have to be a camera. It can be lots of different kinds of sensors. We have companies using LiDAR, so it's not limited to just video, although that is our focus. The data goes through the metadata pipeline up to the media agent, and this is where the data is synchronized with the video, and that makes it available for you or your customers to be able to view this from the open source client, mobile or desktop version. Here's a picture of that open source client. This is an award-winning system. It has Apple and Android versions being open sourced as well. This one's based on C++, Qt, and you can build anything that needs a slick video UI. So I'll show you some examples of that later. The end customer can see your branded version of this. They can see live video, they can scrub through the timeline, and then they can search all of the metadata that's generated from your AI. So even if your customers aren't using this AI, using this UI, you can collect lots of very specific video data for model training purposes this way. So if you have a huge network of cameras, this will help you collect that data. So EVOS is built for developers. Here's a link to our GitHub page. You can see examples, SDKs. So we have a metadata SDK, a storage SDK. If you don't catch the QR code here, I'll put it up later. So one of our biggest headaches in creating software is billing for it, knowing how it's being used in the field. And this one I'm really excited about. This is figuring out how to charge and account for your software at enterprise scale. So this means like when you have a sales channel and they're deploying your solution, how do you know it's being deployed, where it's being deployed, and if you're actually getting paid for it? So this allows you to enforce DRM. Our server enforces the digital rights management. And then we get to extract a bunch of metadata from your sales channel. So we can give you geo-region, churn rate, diversity of the channel, how your sales channel is actually using your tool. Extremely powerful. And this user interface is open sourced. Network Optix works on just about anything. Anything ARM-powered. We have, on the left here, gateway devices, and then there are even cameras that are powerful enough to go straight from edge to cloud. And these cameras are getting much, much more powerful. So you can imagine running artificial intelligence algorithms inside the camera itself, and then your customer just has to plug it in, it discovers automatically, and then it's part of this massive network. Gateway devices are for existing cameras. This is where you can process multiple cameras in a box. There's many, many boxes available. Our server only runs on the CPU, so you can leave that GPU and the accelerator free for the magic that is happening outside of our software. I'm going to go through all the components quickly. The cloud is the thing that unifies all of these systems together. It's rebrandable, OEMable, and it can be hosted anywhere. So you can connect and manage and then monitor the system health and you can monitor all of the devices that are connected. You can control your customers' access to this and the systems and through the roles and management through the roles. And you can easily integrate with existing cloud infrastructure as well. The next piece is the server. It's that small, ultra lightweight, super powerful piece of software that runs on anything. This is the magic that runs all of the network traversal, discovery, storage, digital rights management, and you don't have to install anything else. It's all included in the same package. It discovers lots of devices, and the desktop, this is that open source, lightning fast, slick UI that is award-winning. You can build anything on top of it just by going to the GitHub and downloading and start building. It runs on Windows, Mac, Linux, and there's no other software required to install on it. The mobile version is the lightweight version that runs on iOS and Android. It is also open sourcing this fall, and it has customers really like this because you can put your brand on it, and then you can hand it off to your customer, and it looks like you've been developing it for a decade. The developer tools. I've gone through this, but this is a huge part of this entire ecosystem. The developer tools are the SDKs and the APIs that allow you to build anything on top of this. And I'll show you some examples. And then NX Connect. This is the accounting software that allows you to manage and control how your software is being used. And in the future, you should be able to also deploy AI using this tool, which is really cool. The server enforces the licenses, so you don't have to worry if someone is gaming the system. And then there's also an API called NX SMP that allows you to access all this information through API as well, so you can connect it to an ERP system. You don't have to use this UI. Here's a case study. I think I'm running out of time here, but it's a case study of a global parking company called Umojo. They use our platform. They have brought video directly into their SaaS offering. They use the server, the developer tools, the cloud, and the SMP to bring this solution to market. The next one is a remote monitoring company that's right here in Las Vegas. They have used the client to make it more about the building focus instead of just camera focus. So they completely revamped the client and made it work for their workflow. They have 20 employees. They managed to look at 4,000 and manage 4,000 cameras worldwide 24/7 with just 20 employees using this process. They use the server, the cloud, and the mobile version. Their customers like to be able to pull out the phone and look at, hey, how is this AI working? How is it all, that gut check to make sure that it's all working right. So, in summary, NX EVOS is don't try and do this yourself. Don't try and build a massive network of video yourself. Use what we've developed, rapidly deploy something that is enterprise scale out of the box. Deploy it on any hardware. Consume and aggregate stream from any device. Analyze those streams with a rich application layer. Orchestrate the data flow and management for an entire organization. And then create intelligence from that video. Your customers can operate an entire smart infrastructure based on real-time data. So it's really easy to get started. Scan the QR code, download NX Meta Client, or go to networkoptix.com and download the server, install it, and then start building. If you're building something big, we would love to hear from you. Stop by our booth 600, and thank you very much for your time.